Most gardeners are dumping fruit scraps into their soil and quietly killing the biology they're trying to build. It looks harmless. Organic matter is good, right? But raw fruit scraps don't just feed the soil. They create unstable fermentation zones, sudden pH drops, and uneven microbial activity. That leads to root stress, nutrient lockout, and in some cases soil that actually slows plant growth instead of supporting it. I didn't catch this early on because everything looked fine on the surface. Plants were growing, mulch was in place. But when I started measuring what was really happening underneath, the story changed. I use a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter that reads moisture, pH, temperature, and light levels, and it exposed something I kept missing. Those fruit inputs were creating sharp swings in soil conditions. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It helped me stop guessing and start managing the soil like a system. And once I fixed that, I stopped burying scraps and started fermenting them into what I call fruit alcohol. Raw fruit scraps don't behave the way most people think. There's this assumption that if it's organic, it's automatically beneficial, but soil systems don't work that way. When you bury raw fruit scraps, especially high-sugar ones like bananas, mangoes, or papaya, they begin breaking down rapidly. That process pulls oxygen, spikes acidity, and creates localized microbial blooms that don't spread evenly. So instead of building a balanced ecosystem, you're creating isolated hotspots. Roots don't like that. Beneficial microbes don't stabilize in those conditions. And over time, you end up with soil that looks rich but performs inconsistently. I've seen beds where half the plants thrive and the other half struggle. Same soil, same watering. The difference was what was happening below the surface. The shift happened when I stopped feeding soil and started pre-processing inputs. This is where the fruit alcohol method comes in. Instead of throwing scraps directly into the soil, you ferment them first. You control the breakdown process before it ever touches your bed. That changes everything. You stabilize sugars, you encourage beneficial microbes, you create a liquid that spreads evenly instead of sitting in one spot. And most importantly, you avoid those harsh, localized reactions that damage root zones. What fruit alcohol actually is and why it works. It's not alcohol in the way most people think. It's a fermented extract created from fruit scraps and sugar, rich in microbial life and easily available carbon. When fruit ferments, natural yeasts and bacteria break down sugars into simpler compounds. That process creates a biologically active liquid that feeds microbes in a controlled way. Instead of dumping raw material into your soil, you're applying a pre-digested input that integrates smoothly into your system. That's why you see results faster. In my own beds, I noticed visible changes in soil texture and plant response within days, not weeks. Here's exactly how I make it in a real garden setup. I start with fruit scraps, banana peels, overripe fruit, anything high in sugar content. I chop them into smaller pieces to increase surface area, then mix them with brown sugar at roughly a 1-to-1 ratio. The sugar pulls moisture out and kickstarts fermentation. I pack the mixture into a container and seal it loosely. It needs to release gas but not be fully exposed. Then I leave it for about 5 to 7 days depending on temperature. You'll notice liquid forming at the bottom. The smell should be slightly sweet and sour, not rotten. That liquid is your fruit alcohol. I strain it out and dilute it with water, usually around 1 part liquid to 20 parts water. And this next step is where most people either get massive results or nothing at all. Where you apply it matters more than the mixture itself. If you pour it directly into compacted soil, you're wasting it. You want to apply it where biology is already active or where you want it to expand. For me, that means applying it over mulch layers, compost zones, or lightly worked soil surfaces. That allows the microbes to spread, colonize, and integrate without being suffocated. In raised beds, I apply it right over mulch and let it soak down gradually. In containers, I use smaller amounts more frequently to avoid oversaturation. In hydroponic systems adapted for organics, I use extremely diluted versions to avoid imbalance. Same principle, different scale. This is where most gardeners accidentally shut the system down. They ignore moisture balance. Fermentation inputs need oxygen to transition properly into soil systems. If your soil is too wet, you create anaerobic conditions that slow everything down. If it's too dry, microbial activity stalls. This is where that soil meter becomes more useful than people expect. When I started checking actual moisture levels instead of guessing, I realized I was overwatering in some areas and underweighting in others. Once I stabilized that, the fruit alcohol method became consistent. Before that, it was hit or miss. What happens when soil life actually starts multiplying? You'll notice subtle changes first. Mulch begins breaking down faster, soil becomes darker and more crumbly, water starts penetrating more evenly instead of pooling or running off. Then the plant response follows. Leaves become more vibrant, growth becomes more uniform. You get fewer signs of stress, even under changing conditions. In one of my raised beds, after applying this method consistently, I reduced external fertilizer use significantly, not because I was trying to, but because the system didn't need it anymore. Why does this outperform traditional composting approaches in speed? Composting works, but it takes time. Fruit alcohol accelerates the early stages of microbial activity. You're not replacing compost, you're activating the system that makes compost effective. Think of it as a catalyst. It speeds up decomposition, improves nutrient availability, and builds microbial populations faster than passive methods. That's why you see results in days instead of waiting weeks. The mistake that resets everything back to zero is inconsistency. A lot of gardeners try something new, see some improvement, and then stop. But microbial systems depend on steady inputs and stable conditions. If you go back to dumping raw scraps or ignore moisture levels, you lose that momentum. In my systems, I apply this method regularly in small amounts and adjust based on conditions. That's what keeps the system active. If you want your soil to actually improve over time, you have to stop treating inputs as waste disposal. Fruit scraps aren't just something to get rid of. They're a resource, but only if you process them correctly. Fermentation gives you control over how that resource enters your system. It removes the guesswork, it removes the instability, and it allows you to build soil that gets better with every cycle instead of fluctuating. If you're serious about building high-performance soil systems and getting consistent results from your garden, subscribe to the channel. And if you know someone burying raw scraps and wondering why their plants aren't improving, share this with them. Because once you understand how to manage inputs and soil biology, you stop reacting to problems and start building systems that prevent them.